Adams, I want to switch over to the migrant issue. You recently said that you haven't spoken to the president in months. This is his third and final day in the city here. But he is not meeting with you, and he's not even touring a migrant shelter. After all the city has done in the face of this migrant crisis, he cannot find 5 minutes to meet with you or even tour a shelter. Why do you think that is?
Well, we are in constant communication with the White House. The goal is to get the items that we have identified, and that includes decompression strategy at the border, receiving the funding that we deserve, calling a state of emergency, allowing people to work. No one should be in this city without the right and authorization to contribute to our tax base. So this is unfair to New Yorkers, and it's actually unfair to the migrants as well. No one should be going through this, particularly this city and other small municipalities.
Well, while the president may shy away from meeting you face to face, the White House does not shy away from skewering NYC in their response to the migrant crisis, saying that we allegedly have no exit strategy for migrants in shelters. But I know you're trying to change that from a 60-day ruling to now a 30-day ruling for the amount of days that migrants can be in shelters. And this is specific for maybe male migrants?
Well, everything is on the table. Let me say that. Everything is on the table when you're dealing with the crises of managing over 110,000 migrant asylum seekers, in addition to 10,000 a month. We really need to wrap our heads around that. 10,000 a month. And we've witnessed that a substantial number have left our shelter system, but over 60, 70,000 are still there. It's just not moving at the right pace. But the question becomes, why aren't we stopping this at the source? And why aren't we dealing with this as a national crisis that it is?
So Mayor, the first recipients of that 60-day eviction notice have a deadline of this weekend. What happens to those people who are in the shelter system, who already have been notified your 60 days are up?
Well, we were clear they have to reapply, and based on our availability of space, we will allow them back into one of our shelters or HERCs, but they will have to reapply.
But that sounds like you're not getting rid of or moving them on to somewhere else.
Well, no. What we're doing is properly putting in place the exit strategies that we talked about, everything from helping individuals apply for their asylum process as well as work. We are going to do everything as possible like we have done. Let's be clear on what we did. We were able to manage this crisis without one family or child sleeping on the street. I saw El Paso. I witnessed other cities and municipalities. That did not happen in New York City. So those who are critiquing how we've handled this crisis really don't have a full scope of what this administration has done and what the people of the city of New York, they have done.
Mayor, obviously there are a lot of...
And I believe their frustration is real, and I am also frustrated that this city is going through this.
Right. Let's talk about the frustration, because we're seeing these protests pop up, whether it's it's in Queens or Staten Island. More and more neighborhoods are saying enough. You know, we can't handle this in our neighborhood. People are getting arrested because they don't want these migrants in their neighborhood. What do you say to those communities?
Well, let's do a real accurate and proper assessment. We have 8.3 million New Yorkers. So if the numerical minority decide to use hateful terms and hateful words, that is not a reflection of who this city is. I'm very clear of the frustration and anger, and New Yorkers have expressed that, but they're not banging on the doors of buses. They're not spewing hateful words towards ethnic groups. That is not how we're showing our frustration. And I say to those who believe they're going to use violence by throwing bottles at police officers and migrants, we're not going to accept that. That's the message we sent on Staten Island, and I'm going to send it throughout the city. We'll manage this crisis, but we're not going to do it with violence, and we're not going to do it with hateful terminologies spewed at individuals.
So, Mayor, I know at one point you called yourself the Biden of Brooklyn. Do you still consider yourself the Biden of Brooklyn?
Well, you know, listen, we disagree on this. I still believe President Biden should be the president that continues to move our country in the right direction. I don't believe Trump administration is going to be able to handle this crisis. I believe the president has done a great job around public safety, a great job around bringing our economy out of the crisis, bringing us out of the pandemic, and we need to continue to move our country forward. I disagree on this. We need to manage this as the national crisis that it is. It should not go on the backs of everyday New York taxpayers. We are going to take $5 billion out of our budget, and the next fiscal crisis, next fiscal period, we're going to take a total of $12 billion. That's coming from somewhere, and that's only $30 billion of the amount of dollars that we can use. We have a $106 billion budget, but all of that cannot be addressed during this crisis.
So I know that you have lights and sirens when you get around town, but the rest of us have been struggling to get around New York City with the gridlock lately. Did you encounter any travel problems?
Yes, but I also believe we have one of the best transportational networks on the globe. And I told all of the heads of states that I met with and the mayors that I met with, swipe a Metro card and enjoy the full scope and the full experience of New York City. I rode on Metros in other municipalities. No one does it the way New York is doing it. And remember, the UN General Assembly brings in real dollars to the city. This is the center of the world. Everyone wants to be in New York City.
Hey, well, maybe next year you can mandate the fact that they're going to have to take some public transportation. After all, climate change is a big deal, so maybe we can get you to weigh in on that.
Well,
sounds like a plan.
All right. Meanwhile, I'm angry that the governor spoke to the president and you didn't. I'm sorry. I'm a little frustrated with that, Mayor.
Well, you know, part of the problem is, listen, everyone that knows me, there's an authentic communication style that I have, and sometimes that offends people, but I'm not going to be dishonest to New Yorkers and finding a word in the thesaurus to make it sound politically correct. We're in trouble, and I'm going to navigate us out of it, but it's going to be painful when you have to look at those services that we were using to move our city forward. We're going to have to find cuts in our agencies and efficiencies. So sometimes the way I express with this New York attitude of mine, people take offense to it, but it's only because I love the city that I wore that bulletproof vest for 22 years to protect it, and I'm not going to turn my back on the residents of this city.
Mayor Adams, thank you so much for talking with us this morning. Jessica Tisch, New York Sanitation Commissioner, thank you for trying to clean up the streets of New York City. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right.